Welcome to the Index Fund podcast. I am your host, Josh Passler, alongside Guy Penn and Lei Deng. We're a unique financial advisor podcast that's injecting humor into the numbers game. Each week, we will introduce a guest from the financial services industry, and you'll get to hear about their practice and their superhero origin story. We have some fun questions to ask them. Some questions are harder to answer than others. And if they don't answer the questions, that's fine. But they do have to pay the consequences by eating some unsavory edibles. This week's guest is Broc Buckles. Broc is a co-founder and co-owner of BC Brokerage, an independent insurance brokerage firm based out of Indiana. Broc's been in the insurance game since 2014, and we're excited to have him on the episode. Things get heated, things get hot, he's a little bit uncomfortable. At one point, I just leave the camera, not the room, just the camera, because it's way too hot. You'll have to see it yourself. If you're listening to this on audio, be sure to check this video out on YouTube. All here because of you. I don't know if you know this, but you are the main reason why we're here. Because it started with me just listening to or randomly finding the Only Fee Only podcast. And I started listening to all the episodes. And by the time I got through them all, the new episode was Lei's. And I got to listen to Lei and then kind of find out about her background. Then went on her LinkedIn, saw core planning. And then Guy reached out. And then you mentioned Guy to me. And so it's all kind of like we're all connected now. It's crazy how that's worked out.
Yeah, and Lei named our podcast. So there's that.
Yeah.
There's that too. You got to give her credit for that. But yeah, I remember when we were first talking, and you were kind of sharing with me, what you had going on. I was like, Guy was the first thing that popped into my mind, and I obviously had the conversation with Lei, and she talked about how much she loved being at Core. So yeah, I'm glad. It's interesting sometimes the way that the world works. So I'm glad it all worked out.
The universe speaks. That's what we always say over here.
It
Yeah,
does.
Guy has a famous word, serendipity.
Yep.
That's how it worked out.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Well, we want to thank you again here, and we want to learn a little bit more about you and BC Brokerage. Like, how did you get started in the insurance game back in 2014?
Yeah, man. So unexpectedly, unintentionally, and completely unaware is what I always like to tell people. My buddy, he recommended that I do an internship. They have a really big internship program at Northwestern Mutual, and started there. And, thought it was going to be like a finance internship. I realized very quickly I was going to be calling all my friends and family and selling insurance, which was a good learning experience. Ultimately not what I wanted to do forever, but learned a lot, learned about, calling people, getting over some fears, different things. So I do credit a lot of good things to my experience there, but ultimately just wasn't what I wanted to do. And so was going to move on and was talking to my business partner, Peter, about kind of the direction that we could go. And I had my kind of thoroughbred, I always like to say, horse blinders on, because I didn't even know that the fee only community existed. I had no clue. I didn't even know it was a thing. And so he was like, what if we could create a trusted outlet for these fee only planners to have a way for their clients to implement insurance without any conflict of interest, without the financial planners ever having to worry about upselling or people getting more than the products that have been recommended. And so we did. We started in January 2020, and after probably tens of thousands of cold calls and consistently posting on social media, we built relationships with fee only planners across the country in all 50 states. So it's been quite the journey.
It's beautiful to hear.
That's
I love
huge.
the direction you're going.
If you don't mind, Josh, you had told me something too when we started talking and resonated with something Broc just said. Was it's almost like our fee only space has been around for a long time, but it's almost as if some of these companies have a way of kind of keeping that from their people. And
for sure, man,
it's amazing.
Yeah, it was a thing where it was like, because you'd hear like fee-based, or I do fee-based planner or something. Like fee-based is the extent of what I heard, because there were a couple guys at Northwestern that did it. But I do remember, just to be honest, asking questions about like other compensation models and what other people are doing. And it was the guy at the time, it was very much so like, oh, those guys charge their people. They don't get what they're worth. Like, you need to just focus on this over here. And being naive and new to the industry, I just listened to him. And so, I for a long time didn't even know that there was anything out there. And I will say, in my experience on that side of the industry, it can be a fairly unhealthy culture sometimes, because I think that they try to, rather than and everybody pushes each other, it's a very welcome, inclusive environment. It's kind of like find somebody that started at the same time as you, and then pit you up against them, and who could sell more insurance policies and race to the top and all of that. So, I definitely don't miss that aspect of it, I will say.
That sounds exhausting.
It was exhausting. It was exhausting. Yeah.
Do you have like a moment where you pinpoint to like, okay, this is where I learned about fee only? Because I used to be a broker dealer, right? Like it's like I don't think it's intentionally hiding away, but like BD world is very big. So sometimes all you hear about is BD, and then you probably think BDs and wirehouses is the only thing that ever exists in the world.
Yeah.
So how did you find that breakthrough to actually like, do you find anything particularly helpful for you to learn more about this space?
So now something's coming to mind. The first time I ever heard about fee only was actually when I made my list of 200 people to cold call, and I was at like 150. So I actually made my mom get her phone out and give me like 50 more contacts out of her phone, because that was a requirement for the internship program. And one of the first people we called was a very successful individual who was a nurse that started a company that exploded. And she actually worked with a local fee only firm. And the joint work partner, the older Northwestern advisor that I was working with, called her, and she's like, I already have a financial advisor. They're fee only. So that was the first time I ever heard about it. And then I like put the earmuffs on for another 6 years. And then I heard about it again. But I would say, getting introduced to a lot of firms here locally in Indianapolis, and Peter really had been working with a couple of them just here locally who reached out to him and, needed one-off insurance cases. So he kind of told me about this world. He's like, it's a really great thing because they make the financial plan, they diagnose the insurance need, and then we just take care of the rest. And I was like, that can't possibly be true. Because like every day I'm making 40 to 100 dials trying to meet with new people. And I was like, okay, so I really like this idea. What if we can create this relationship where they do the financial plan, everything looks good, and then we just get the insurance that they need? Like that'd be the best case scenario. And then it's more of a B2B relationship with the opportunity to serve the B2C clients. So that was, I definitely first heard about it kind of from my business partner, Peter.
That's cool. So it's like, we can build hopefully like a bigger business. And we also don't have to have as much agony. It's like a win-win situation, really.
Yeah, definitely. And my favorite part is just being able to be like a partnership with the fee only community. I think that's so cool because, being their resource and them knowing that nothing's ever going to be facilitated other than, what they've talked about with their client, I think is very comforting to them. Because I do think, unfortunately, if you were to just go say, find somebody to do your insurance, or they make a recommendation and then you go see cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation, right? Like they might end up with a few things that they didn't necessarily want to sign up for. So it works. I really love it.
One thing too that comes to mind, we're all coming to the grips of the world is getting complicated beyond what we can know perfectly ourselves.
Yeah.
The insurance world is complex. It can get deep. We on the financial planning side can't pretend to know everything about everything, but we know where to find good people. I know that you know your stuff, and it's cool that we can have this relationship. Like you said, it's built on trust. Someone we send your way, they're probably going to end up with what they need, not what's going to generate the most commission down the line, which is, let's be honest, a big part of that side of the profession that, you've really changed the look of things. Yeah. And that leads to something we've been kind of curious about. Our corner of the industry is still tiny, but growing faster than any other corner. Yeah. You serving that corner and in such a dominant way, you've got to daydream what that could look like for you 5-10 years from now. I mean, what are you and Peter talking about? What do you see your guys, what do you see this looking like 5 years from now, 10 years from now? It can grow. It can grow pretty well.
Yeah, definitely. For us, it's one of those things to where, and Michael Kitces does a really good talk where he kind of talks about the difference between a solopreneur, a boutique, and then an enterprise, right? Where you're like Amazon's an enterprise. I think that we are more than willing to get to the size of a large boutique, right? And that could be, from 20 to 100 people one day, something like that, but without ever losing that feel of you're getting top-notch service. Here's our values. Here's what we represent. Obviously the conversation as we grow and as we're growing can't always be with me on the Zoom, which I'd love it if it could, but I just can't be, in multiple places at once. But our goal is really to just continue meeting more and more people in the market. And I think that, everybody always says, what's that idea, or what can I get on, relatively soon, or what does that look like? And I feel like, although the feeling world's been around for longer than a lot of people know, we did get in kind of earlier, right? Like there are some other firms that do what we do, but it's not a very dominated space in the insurance market because a lot of people just don't understand it. So our goal would be to just continue to grow, serve fee-only planners in the way that we still are, with the same level of customer success and experience that we have today, without losing any of that or compromising any of that down the line.
Right on. So I'm making impact before you get corporate, though.
Definitely. I think that it has to be, it can be a larger organization, but I never want to lose that personal touch. I think that that really is what makes certain organizations stand out from others. And when it starts to feel too commercialized or corporate, I think that really turns some people off, and they're just like, okay, that doesn't make sense for me anymore. So I want to make sure that never happens, and that there's always the expectation that people are going to be taken care of the way they always have.
That's right.
That's a good point. And I like your guys' model too. Because now the financial planners and advisors, they don't have to worry about what the insurance agent is selling, to their clients. They know exactly what they're getting. They know the plan. They have the game plan, in front of them, and you're kind of like, just filling in that missing piece, right, of the puzzle.
Yep.
So I love that. But if you could change one thing about the insurance world, what would that be?
Oh my gosh. The upselling, undereducated, over pressuring salespeople. It's horrible. I mean, it really is. Like, if I hear one more person talking about like a debt elimination platform using a whole life policy, I'm going to be banging my head off of a wall. It gives the entire reputation, or the whole industry, a bad reputation. And really, there's a lot of good people out there doing great things in the world of insurance, but there's a reason that a lot of people view the insurance profession not so far away from the used car profession. It's because it feels kind of like, well, are you being honest with me? Are you just selling me something so you can make a commission? What are your actual intentions here? I know, and I've met and I know enough people to where the conversations that they're having with clients are a lot different from the conversations they're having in the back room, talking about the commissions that they're going to make off the product they're selling a client. I just think that's a horrible thing. So if I could change one thing, that would probably be what I would change, is just the culture, the overall feel, and sometimes the people that it attracts, just based on old ways of thinking.
So we talked a little bit about like your 5-year plan. Do you have anything more recent, like for the rest of the year? Anything big happening at BC Brokerage you want to share with us?
Yeah, so we're really excited. First of all, we're releasing a portal, which I'm really, really excited about, which will give financial planners a really, really great technology piece of the practice and allow everything to be in one concise place. So that's the first thing that we're really excited about. And then we're also sponsoring a booth. We're going to be exhibiting at XYPN Live 2022. So we're super excited about that. Get to meet with people all over the country that we already work with. So I'm super pumped about that, which is funny because then you get to see what people actually look like in person. Like Trayton DeVore, I don't know if you guys know who he is. I think you do, Josh, for sure. And he was like 6'5" the first time I saw him. So that's always funny to me. Some people are like shorter than you think they will be. Some people are like taller than you think they will be. But then we're also doing a cocktail hour at XYPN Live, which I know Josh is going to be at.
Oh yeah.
And are you coming, Lei? I don't know if I asked you that.
Yeah, I probably won't be able to make it this year,
Okay,
but
next.
it definitely is a decision that I made that I don't know if I'm not fully regretting on. But
Yeah.
if you guys gonna be the next year, I'm definitely gonna be there.
For sure. So those are the big things that are kind of coming up towards the end of the year, and that's kind of our big hurrah, for lack of a better way to say it, because we just get to see so many of the good people that we work with in one spot, and it's just so much fun for me because you like look at each other and be like, "You're oh yeah, you are," because you only see people from like here up most of the time on
You
Zoom.
get a headshot. Yeah.
The headshot. So, yeah, those are kind of the big things that are happening with us. And then early 2023, we're looking into launching our property and casualty insurance space as well. So that'll be a nice little twist on what we're already doing as well. So
That'll be
those are
That's
the big
exciting.
things coming up. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a different world, and there's a lot more moving parts, a lot more claims. Obviously, stuff happens to people's homes, and there are car accidents and stuff like that, a lot more than disabilities and life insurance claims. So it's a higher touch, higher service model, but we're looking forward to it.
I'll be waiting because I need new home insurance, so I'll be waiting.
Sounds good.
So if I publicly talk about crashing my Jeep through the woods at night, do you need to know about that before I get a policy through you?
Yeah.
Or should I not have just said that?
That'd probably be a good
Okay.
thing to let me know.
Okay.
We'll edit that one out.
Yeah, well, for sure.
Leave it.
Yeah.
So I know we have a really fun segment later, but there was something that we kind of talked beforehand as well, right? And I know we got connected, and then we always talk about the thing called serendipity. So the story of how us get connected, but also the fact that Josh is half Japanese, you're a quarter Japanese, I'm full Asian, and so I think there's part of our identity is the minority,
Yeah.
in this space. And I also have another side of me, which is also a woman. As you can see, 20%, they're like, I think it's 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I'm butchering the statistics, but it's like 20% of a CFP. And then now we still have 20% of CFP. So all these years with no progress, right? So
Sure.
and then I just wanted to see, and I know BC Brokerage is like doing amazing things with fee only. So I know you guys have some big plans, on the front of diversity and all of that as well. So do you have anything exciting that you want to share with us today, or how do you guys approach that and tackle that?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So first of all, I am absolutely for inclusion, diversity. I've had the privilege of watching my amazing grandmother, who is not only, from another country, but came here and did an incredible job raising my mother and my father. Yeah, or mother and father, that'd be weird. Sorry. My father. My father.
Wait a minute.
Father, maybe edit that one out, John. No, my father, my uncle, and my aunt, and they're absolutely amazing. So to be able to, I have a lot of really incredible and strong women in my life, and so moving forward with BC Brokerage, it's definitely going to be a goal of ours to make sure that we're hiring in accordance with the way that the world actually looks, and not just what the financial space is dominated by. So, I'd like to get some people. I'd like to have women in the future that work for us, people of color, people of different belief systems. All of that is extremely important to us because we want our company to look like the world actually does, not the superficial idea of kind of what's been, the financial industry over the course of the last however long. Right. So, yeah, it's extremely important to us going forward that we're thinking about that.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it's part of, Josh, the hashtag this movement, right?
Yep, exactly right. This movement, if you're listening to this and you're wondering what the heck is hashtag this movement, this is it stands for oh my god, I can't even think, is an acronym for transparency, honesty, integrity, and supportiveness. And so that's how I feel about the community here within the fee only world. And I think every guest that we bring on is part of this movement. So I feel it very dear to my heart, and I think it's honestly the right way of not only the community but the world. So,
yeah, and it's a really special thing. I mean, I would actually argue, now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, that the vast majority of people that have had a huge impact on my life personally have been women. So I just think it's a really special thing, and I think it's very important to just get out of the mindset of like, this is the way that it's always been, so this is the way that it needs to continue. I think it needs to be the exact opposite and be a lot more inclusive. And a lot of you also, when you have different beliefs and perspectives and people, you also bring a lot more to the table because you can think outside of the box and actually welcome those other ideas, which I think is a huge contributor to the growth of a company as well. Just to kind of hit on that too.
It's the only way. It's the only way to get from where we are to where we need to be.
100%. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's a big shift in this industry, and it's ever changing. Women, they're a huge part of it, and they're going to continue to improve and progress and make this industry better. I mean, we're already seeing it.
Yep.
Yeah. To borrow a crypto lingo, we're still early, right?
No.
That's true.
Definitely.
Very
Definitely.
true.
Full disclaimers going crypto. No.
Yeah,
Real though.
Yeah. This podcast is not a
I'm in
recommendation
trouble.
of what you should do with your financial picture or plan. Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good
Lei,
one.
Guy, Josh, Broc, they are not responsible for any decisions that you may make after listening to this podcast.
Absolutely not.
Speaking of, we have some bad decisions coming up though.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
we do.
And I don't know if this is a good time to go from the appetizer to the main course of what's ahead. This is not scripted. No, people may, we may have a disclaimer after this too.
Yeah,
But
we might
Josh-
have to.
Josh, you want to talk about the rules?
Exactly. I'm going to put on my gloves here. I might do this with my eyes, so I want to make sure that one hand, one glove. I feel like I'm Michael Jackson with this. All right, so this is the game. We don't have a title for it yet. We don't know if it's going to be like a truth or dare or answer or dare. But the host, Lei, Guy, and I, we're going to ask our special guest here, Broc, a few questions. And Broc, he can easily answer them if he wants to. That's perfectly fine. But these questions are becoming increasingly difficult, and Broc may not want to answer them, and that's fine. But failure to comply will lead to consequences for both the guest and the host. So what we have here today, and we'll go ahead and just pull the box up, are these Death Nuts. And it's the Death Nut Challenge version 2.0. They are Carolina Reaper peanuts, insanely hot challenge. Now there are 5 different levels. Before the show, we went with level 1, which is just getting started, and that's a Carolina Reaper with chocolate Butla peppers. Buddha peppers.
Yeah.
And then level 2 is kind of like the mild plus. It's a Carolina Reaper with ghost peppers. Heat level 3 or level 3 is the medium, so still okay. It's getting real at that point. And that's a Carolina Reaper plus 7 pot brain strain peppers. Say that 10 times in a row. Number 4 is when the pain really sets in. And that's 2 times the Carolina Reapers plus 7 hot Douglas peppers. And and number 5, stupid hot. It's the Death Nut. And you know what? I don't even explain what the Death Nut is. You don't know that it's going to be painful. And so
it is the flagship product of the package here.
So we need a person here that's going to be calm, collected, composed throughout, and that's Lei. So she's not going to be eating the peanuts, thank goodness, because we're all kind of. We're all going to be in total agony.
She didn't chicken out, by the way. We suggested that someone be able to say goodbye to the audience in case we can't.
Exactly.
I am looking forward to the future, Harry Potter jelly beans or whatnot, so.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. And we're going to be adding other consumables, other edibles, in other podcasts that are going to be interesting to choose from. They may not always be spicy. They might be sour. They might be disgusting. They might be a liquid form. Who knows? But I've come prepared with my milk, lactate whole milk. So hopefully that helps because I'm lactose intolerant. It's an Asian thing, for the most part, right? And then I got my bread, and then on the other side I got peanut butter smeared on it and water. So I think we're all prepared here. And we're going to start off with just kind of like an easy question here.
I've got them teed up here. You want to go first? These aren't too hard. Maybe I don't know.
No, this is an easy one here. But like, what do you think about people that say permanent life insurance is a wealth builder?
Yeah. So there are times where I can see the justification as using permanent life insurance and the cash value. Okay. I'm not going to sit here and say it can never be used. Now, with that being said, should it ever be sold as a substitute for a Roth IRA or a 401k or a brokerage account or anything else like that? No. And I want to say that one more time. No. But for people that are maxing every single thing out, they do need some tax sheltering, and based on the financial plan, it can make sense long term. And they're working with someone close to them who knows exactly what their situation is, and it fits in the financial plan. Have we seen it used effectively by fee-only planners and other types of planners? Absolutely. But not like those guys on TikTok are selling it. That's the way that I'll put a bow on that question. That wasn't too bad.
Yeah, that was an easy question.
Kind of a layup.
Right. You see it all over TikTok, and you're just like, Jeremy Schneider, I think that's his name. He's the part of the, I think it's the Personal Finance Club.
Yeah.
I saw a TikTok of him actually buying one of those TikTok permanent life insurance, and he went through the website, watched the video, bought the insurance policy, and read all 90 pages of the packet and pretty much just debunked everything.
Yeah.
They explained the fees and everything. And so it was pretty cool how that is funny. And then
that's the thing is it has to be very clear the way that you're going to use the product. And if you are going to use it as kind of a safe vehicle, like obviously the variable universal life or something like that's not the right. So it also depends on who you're talking to and what they're trying to do and what the logic is behind it. But as a general rule of thumb, I will say the vast majority of people do not need permanent life insurance. And I'm more than happy to state that publicly.
Love it.
Yeah.
Lei, you got a harder one for him? What do we got here?
No, it's like that one. Yeah, I'm gonna turn up the heat a little bit. So you'll probably have a lot of people come to you with the, financial planners. We all have, letters, the letters alphabet soup. What is the most meaningless one that you've come across? You can't eat a peanut.
Yeah. You do what? I can't eat a peanut.
He's brave to answer. I want to.
Yeah, right.
This is gonna be a Twitter. There could be a Twitter storm or a hot peanut.
The most useless designation. I'm gonna eat a peanut on that one.
Okay. All right.
I could really upset some people with my answer to that one. I think so.
So that
I'm with you.
We're getting our peanuts out.
What level are we going, guy?
I'm doing 4s.
You're doing 4s? All right.
I'm going to start off with 2.
Okay.
All right.
Like that guy's
I touched it. Wrong hand. I just want to use my left hand.
All right. You're doing the 4. Did you put it in?
Well, cheers.
I'm like holding my breath here, just waiting to see what happens. What do we think? Oh, man. Yeah.
That's hot.
It's hot.
I had a 2, and it's kind of hot. Let me just go ahead and eat this bread.
4 is hot.
That's hot. Oh man.
Yep.
Are we
okay.
sweating?
Well,
are we sweating?
Yeah, you can't see it. Zoom quality. So
yeah, it's starting to set in.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I don't know if we want to get collected, but we could just kind of keep firing these out. And the
go for it, guy. Shoot them out.
We believe in compounding here. The compounding effect
of spicy.
So
yeah.
So I got one. We thought one might be fun. There's a few people we know that you're well. We're gonna name a few names, let it marinate, and then ask another question. So let's just throw out Peter. Okay, Peter.
Yeah.
And we're gonna throw in Tim Woodward. Thomas Kopelman. Okay. Who do you hire? Who do you fire? And who's your assistant?
I'm sorry, Tim, Peter, and Thomas.
See, now you're in a spot because you know what the peanut tastes like.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Gonna have to overcome like more, to not answer the question.
oh man, they'll be good sports about it, I think.
Okay.
So I would hire Kopelman. I'd make Peter my assistant. And I'd fire Tim because I already hired Tim for some other things. So that's the way I'm gonna answer that.
I want to see Tim's reaction to this.
Good answer.
That is a good answer. That is a good answer. All right. Now
everybody wins.
Let's go up another. You know what? The next answer that you choose a peanut, I'm gonna go to level 3. And I think this is gonna be a peanut question.
Ooh,
Who should be deleted? Who should be deleted off of FinTwit? I want their names and their handle.
You want why? Who should be deleted off of FinTwit and why? Ooh.
Man, that's some heat. That's some heat. All right.
We're doing this.
Should we go with a different heat?
Do the questions get harder after this one? God, I'm just trying to gauge my peanut use here.
I would.
This one's a tough one. I think they're all peanut worthy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But
okay.
This might be one of the hardest, like one of the hardest ones.
I'll do a peanut.
All right.
It's actually 2 other insurance brokers. I'm not going to give their names, but they're very aggressive and like always trying to compare themselves and always trying to shout out fee-only planners. It's just a really bad look, but I'm going to take the high road and not put them on blast.
There you go.
I got level 3. Are you guys going level 4 still?
I want to do another 4, but yeah.
You think we're going to have to eat 2 more or 1 more? Because I might do the death knot.
I think we're going to have at least 2 more peanut questions.
Okay. Where like you think we're going to eat a peanut?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll do another 4.
I may do a death note at the end, but I'm getting shaky.
I'm going to do another 4. Here we go. Oh man, I should have picked the same side of my mouth.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Oh no! How much hotter does this one feel compared to the first one?
This one's worse.
So much hotter.
So much hotter. It's the same level, right? But it just feels much worse.
The 4 and the 4 does make an 8.
Yeah, it's so hot.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Dude. And there's
we
the
can
5-1.
We must continue. I'm having a hard time speaking, but
keep going.
All right, Lei, you gotta.
You guys,
yep.
If you guys can, get some more milk, get bread, whatnot, peanut butter, whatever you have.
All right.
Just make sure don't rub your eyes, please.
Yeah, I'm not.
So this one, I think you might be able to answer. What advice do you give to others that you do not take? What do you tell other people to do that you don't do yourself?
I would say I'll answer that one.
Okay, all right.
All right, I'm gonna give everybody a break here. Hold on, just a second.
Everybody.
I would say I encourage. I would say I really encourage people to read because I've gotten a lot of benefit out of it. But I can kind of sometimes feel like I have 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and I'm not as diligent as I needed to be, which is why I made my Twitter commitment to read 1 book a week, and I just finished the first one. So I think I have been guilty of being a hypocrite or giving advice to read books when I didn't necessarily take that advice myself.
No, it's like, what's the thing that they said that like a cobbler's kids don't have shoes? Is that the saying?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, like
I mean, it would make sense.
I think it happens to all of us,
Yeah.
like with the financial plans, there are things that like I think makes perfect sense. We should do it, but like at the end of the day, I probably should be more on top of it myself.
For sure.
Yeah.
Just sitting on my
I-
tongue. Just sitting
I
on
don't
my
feel
tongue.
like I don't feel like there's stuff that I
Ah.
recommend that I don't do totally because I think that would just be horrible.
Right.
But there's things that I recommend that I definitely should be better at.
Right. I feel like Brock is really holding together.
Yeah,
I and Josh, I don't like you guys.
Yeah. I mean,
Things
this
are
is
not-
not this is
no.
not spicy
You still going
ramen.
for
Like,
that
what is
death
this?
nut guy?
Okay. What?
I said you still going for that death nut?
You know what? If I don't know, but yeah, when we're ready to cut, I'll do it. I think.
All right.
Look at that
All right,
highlighted question. Hey,
Nice
guy,
question.
do you see that red highlighted question?
Yeah.
That'll be a good
Wait,
one.
oh. Well, that's burn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So,
wow.
which insurance company that you use or have access to
Oh my.
that should go out of business tomorrow?
That's a death nut question. That is, I hereby announce that to be a death nut question.
Is there any other questions after that?
Do you want there to be?
How many do you guys have that you think would be worthwhile?
I lost. I don't know. Have we counted?
We
Where
have
are
one,
We
we?
had
two,
4. No, this is
three.
gonna be the 5th, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this should be the final
Oh wait,
one.
actually, no, it's fine. It's fine. We can have 2 more. We can have 1 more. Guest choice.
All right. Do I have? I mean, does he answer? Do I have to pick one? Because the real answer is not that there is not one. And I only say that because we only work with A-rated carriers. There's none that we actually work with. Like, there's a lot out there that are just crappy, that are like named after states that we don't touch. But there's none that we actually use or recommend clients do that are not A-rated by the 3 rating companies, meaning Standard & Poor's, Moody's, and Fitch.
Good. And you know what? And I don't want to cut you off because you brought up a great point. That's a bad question on our part in the sense of, hold my thought. Hold on. I'm just trying to catch my breath for a second here. What we really should ask, what insurance company should be out of business tomorrow? Because
Ooh.
I know that you wouldn't put one in front of someone if you thought that.
Yeah.
And disclaimer before you answer, to those listening, you choosing to eat a peanut isn't condemning or saying you have an answer. It could mean you just don't want to answer or don't have a good answer, or you're hungry. So by you choosing a peanut,
you
no
have
reader or
gluttony.
listener should read into that any differently.
Yeah, or you have a gluttony for punishment. So just
Right.
want to pain.
Yeah, if that's the final question, I'll eat the death nut. If we have one more, then
We have
I
one
would
more,
say-
I think. I got one more in the pocket.
I would say, I don't know. The one that should really go out of business. Oh, probably Primerica.
Yeah.
That was when I came up with that, because I've just known so many people who fell into that. And I'd like to say, I think you Primerica people are always very well intentioned. I think you're doing the right thing, but recruiting other people to do the same thing that you are and being incentivized to do that, and then get everybody to have a part-time job as an insurance agent, and they really don't know, and they don't broker it out, and they can only sell their own stuff, and it's a captive company. I'm just not a really big fan.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up. Excuse me. I'm having a hard time talking here, but
Yeah.
we have a habit of joking and ragging on some of the sleazy sales stuff that goes on, not in any one company, but a lot of them.
Yeah.
But a lot of those people are good people.
For
They
sure.
may not know otherwise. They are told so much from like up above of you're doing the right thing. A lot of them believe they're doing the right thing.
Exactly.
I've
Right.
met some really good people who, when they're like, "Oh, we don't have to do it that way,"
For
awesome.
sure.
Awesome.
sure.
And that was you, Brock. That was you. Like you,
That's why I
realized-
sympathize with it.
yeah.
And
You like, hey, I can do it the right way.
And one time I met with a Primerica guy, and he was so brainwashed on terms the only way, and I was so brainwashed on permanent insurance that we just sat there going back and forth. And it was like didn't really go anywhere. It's more so I don't love the model of like just recruiting a bunch of people in the way that they do it, more so than their willingness to help. I just don't like that particular model. And then it's always like I hate the like, if you hit a certain milestone, you get like a Super Bowl ring. I hate that culture. Like I just don't think that you should be incentivized to wear a Super Bowl ring at like big conferences holding up trophies like you just won the Super Bowl.
And his medals and the ribbons. And
yeah, it's
the
weird.
Oh, yeah.
Financial planners should just like, you know, if they want to like take a photo and be incentivized, just like have all their clients in a photo with them, like do a big group photo and be like, that's my Super Bowl ring, baby. What's up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so no one, anyway, if anything we say in this episode offends you, don't blow up Broc's DMs. Be like, hey, well, maybe why did it offend you? Maybe there's another way I can learn. Reach out to Broc. I don't know. Maybe there's a way you could do it better with Broc.
Listen to
the truth is ugly.
Are you really mad at me? Or are you mad about what you're saying to yourself?
Are you mad at Broc or are you mad at the recruiter?
Yeah, right. Exactly. And I'd like to say I didn't always know better. And I was not always, I don't feel like doing the right, like I always did to the best of my ability based on what I knew at the time. But my philosophy now is much different than it used to be. And it's an opportunity to grow. So if you're at that company, you know, more power to you. I'm sure you have great intentions. I just don't like the structure and the Super Bowl rings and the culture of it.
Yeah. Sometimes you're just surrounded by Kool-Aids, you know, like you just don't know. You can't see through all of that. Like, it's.
My wife knew about the fee only world before I did. And I was in the industry. She found out because of Ramit's book. I Will Teach You to Be Rich.
Ramit Sethi,
Yeah, or the advice only. I'm sorry. She knew about the advice only world before I did. I feel like she probably knew Kudiger before I did. But you know, these big brokerages, these big insurance companies, they really give you tunnel vision and they keep you blinded by seeing the truth and what is all out there. Yeah. And that's part of like what this movement is about. I don't want to get too far into it, but that's part of what this movement is about, is to be not only transparent to the general public and have all the financial advisors and planners be very transparent and have a lot of integrity, but it's also to be this disruptor in the industry, to shape and shake the industry, you know?
Yeah. And I think to that point, the other thing is it's like, they're always up in my DMs. Like, hey, I need a new regional vice president for this territory. I'm like, come on, man. You don't even know me. Like, why you don't offer me a regional vice president role before I've even met you? Come on.
It came through your profile. They're just very impressed.
They just love what I have to say. I'm going to grab milk real quick. Go ahead and ask the next question.
All right. So
I think
Broc
that's
can still
our
hear
last
us.
question, you know?
The
I
last,
got literally another thing.
oh my
just
God.
for this.
Wait, did you already drink the,
The other gallon's gone.
It was only like a quarter full.
okay.
All
Gotcha.
right. If
I
you're
got-
just
I have-
listening
I
to
have
this,
this
Broc
much
went to
left.
get another half gallon of jug of milk.
Oh.
We're filling milk up, and I think we have the last question. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
You want me to shoot for it? Which association?
you got it.
All right. Which association do you feel is a waste of time?
Not even thinking about touching that one.
That'll be a Twitter storm.
Yeah,
I'm
not
going to
even
go
thinking about
with
that. I already.
level 4.
You going with level 4?
I'm doing the 5s.
I'm
Doing
doing
the
the
five.
death.
I'd regret it if I didn't. The 4s hurt
Bringing
a
out the
lot,
big
though.
guns.
I'm doing the death nut too. I'm doing number 5.
Broc, you can't do this by yourself.
That
No,
even
man.
looks.
I need scissors out here. We got going.
Like,
That even look worse, so much worse than the other one.
my 1080 camera's coming in here soon. So
No, these things are glowing red. Like, this is not right.
This is not going to be okay. We are not going to be okay.
okay.
Are we doing this at the same
Are
time?
we
Are we on?
ready?
Bon appetit.
Do we have a countdown?
Countdown.
All right.
It's in there.
Oh,
Okay.
that's disgusting.
Josh voted first.
Oh God.
Wow, you guys are holding up like
I'm doing so well right now.
you're making it like looking a lot more tempting. Like Broc is the champ.
Yeah,
Broc,
it's
you're
hot.
like
Oh, it
that
comes
is
in later.
I
I'm like,
feel
hey,
so-
that wasn't
wait,
so
wait.
bad, but it is. It is bad.
It's really bad.
It's bad.
it does not look much like from you though, Broc. Like you are
I'm trying.
Broc is the strongest of us.
I know.
Oh,
I want to be like Broc.
Oh my God.
Get bigger.
Josh is gone. Josh is down. Josh is down.
We lost a host, but he's the one with the record button. We need him back.
I'm back.
This is so hot.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Broc, tell us where we can find you on the internet.
Yeah, so if you want to follow me, it's Broc Buckles. Broc is without the K. It's BROC. I have to look up my Twitter handle.
I'm like shaking right now.
Broc _ Buckles on Twitter. And then if you want to find our website, it's bc-brokerage.com.
Don't worry, we'll put all of that in the notes.
It'll be in the
put it
description.
In the show notes.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
What?
Is
Yeah.
there anything else that you would like the listeners to know?
Be careful with the death nut.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to get any new takers for this challenge. We might have to go to sour challenges.
It's just going.
I want to scrape the spice off my tongue.
But you're a champ, Broc, and thank you for coming on, our first ever episode. And, you're definitely the guest of honor today. And, we owe it to you for all of us to be connected. And no, thank you so much for being here and just being so open to our, crazy wild idea.
What an amazingly hot episode that was. We want to thank Broc and the team for just being spectacular on our very first episode. Be sure to follow us, rate our podcast, like our video on YouTube, and please share it. And don't forget to always have some index fun.